Do you ever sit down for a few minutes just to check your phone and then suddenly realize it's been nearly an hour? You weren't even doing anything important, just scrolling. One video turns into another, one post into the next. And before you know it, you're deep into something you didn't even choose to watch. And the strange thing is, you don't really remember most of it. It just sort of happened. I do it as well, more than I'd like to admit. And I think part of the problem is this stuff is designed that way. Social media, short videos, they're built to keep you watching, to keep you scrolling. There's always something else, something slightly more interesting, slightly more entertaining, and it just keeps pulling you in. Before you know it, you've spent ages there, and you didn't even mean to. And the problem is, our brains kind of like that. We're wired for quick rewards, little hits of satisfaction, something funny, something interesting, something new. And that's exactly what those apps give you, over and over again. But the downside is, it takes your time without you really noticing. And that's the bit I've started to think more about. Because it doesn't feel like you're wasting time. It just feels like you're having a break. And there's nothing wrong with that. Honestly, switching off and relaxing is important. You can't be productive all the time. Sometimes you do just need to sit down, watch something, and do nothing for a bit. But there's a difference between choosing to relax and just drifting into distraction. And I think that's where a lot of us get caught. Hi, I'm John. I'm a husband and a dad of two boys. And I spend a lot of time thinking about things like this. Because I catch myself doing it. Sitting there, phone in hand, watching something I didn't even mean to watch, and thinking, how long have I actually been here? And it's not just the obvious stuff either. Have you ever tried to watch a film properly, start to finish? You sit down, get into it, and then your phone lights up. You check one thing, then another, and suddenly you've missed something important. And now you're slightly lost, but you just carry on watching anyway. I do that all the time. It's like we've forgotten how to just focus on one thing, whether that's work, a conversation, or even just watching something properly. We're always half somewhere else, and I don't think that's great for us. Because when you're not really paying attention, you don't get much out of what you're doing, even things you enjoy. And then there's the other side of it, boredom, which most of us try to avoid. But actually, being bored is probably a good thing. It gives your brain space, time to think, time to process things, sometimes even time to realize what you should actually be doing. But we don't really let ourselves get bored anymore. The second there's a gap, we fill it. Phone out, scroll, distract, and before you know it, another bit of time is gone. Let me ask you something. How aware are you of where your time actually goes? Not roughly, but properly. Because I've started noticing a lot of it just disappears in small moments. 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. It doesn't feel like much, but it adds up. And over time, it adds up to a lot. And again, I'm not saying this like I've nailed it. I haven't. I still catch myself doing it all the time. But I think the first step is just noticing it. Catching yourself in the moment and thinking, why am I doing this right now? And sometimes you'll carry on, and that's fine. But sometimes you'll stop. And that's where things start to change. One thing I've found helps a bit is being more intentional with your time. If you're going to relax, relax properly. Watch something, switch off, enjoy it. But if you've said to yourself, you're going to do something, go for a run, do some work, cook dinner, set a time, even set a reminder, because otherwise, it's very easy to drift. You sit down for a minute, and suddenly, you're late, and now you don't have time anymore. Not because you didn't have time, but because it got taken. And a lot of the time, we gave it away without realizing. Another thing I've started thinking about is all those small bits of time during the day. Driving, sitting on a train, waiting for something. It's easy to just fill it with nothing. Scroll, tap, swipe. But you could use that time differently. Listen to a podcast, learn something, read a few pages of a book, even just sit and think for a bit. And again, you don't have to do that all the time. But if you did it some of the time, that would add up as well. Now, I want to say something to my boys. You're going to grow up in a world where there are more distractions than ever. Things designed to pull your attention in and keep it there. So just be a bit aware of that. You don't need to avoid it completely. You don't need to never use your phone or never watch anything. Just don't let it take more of your time than you realize. Because time is one of those things that doesn't feel important in the moment. But over years, it shapes everything. So just pay attention to it, even a little bit more than most people do, because that alone will put you in a very different place.